So if you are a nationwide or virtual wholesaler looking for more off-market deals, I want to share with you how I just helped one of my clients, Joseph, generate 32 motivated seller leads with a cost per lead of $20 all on his own. So this is going to be different than some of the other case studies that I've posted, and these are actually my favorite case studies. And the reason being is because Joseph actually used our software to generate his own leads and run his own ads, and I'll be talking to you about how that works. But these are my favorite case studies because it shows me that if you have a proven ad template and a proven lead conversion system, then people can get results regardless of the work that I do. Most people think that they need to pay somebody or pay some sort of agency to run their ads for them, and for some people, that may be the best fit for their business if they're already closing a lot of deals and they just don't have the time to learn these platforms and learn how to generate leads. It makes sense in that case. But for the majority of people that are looking for off-market deals, if you have some time and you're willing to learn just a little bit, you can get results like this. And I'm not exaggerating this. This is literally somebody who had never ran ads before and used our templates. They don't have to think about what ad copy is going to work or what image is going to work or what placement is going to work. I literally have templatized my 8 years of Facebook ad experience, turned them all into proven templates that I've used to actually get off-market deals, so that people like Joseph can run his own ads. So that's the context behind this case study, and what I'm going to be sharing with you in this video is just the proof so you can see that it's real. I'll talk about the strategy so you better understand how we're converting these leads once they're generated, because generating the lead is just kind of one component to creating a profitable system. You need to be able to automate some of these processes so you're not wasting a bunch of your own time chasing down non-serious leads. So I'll talk about that in the strategy, and I will, as always, share the data. You can already probably see it here, but I like to share all the data so you guys can see what the cost is and what the real actual numbers are. And then I will also share with you some bonus secrets at the end that will help you with your campaigns if you are looking to generate your own leads for your wholesaling business. So here is the proof. This was a message that I sent over to Joseph because I knew that he had signed up for the software and I knew he was going to be starting to launch his own ads. And so he said, everything good. I got one contract so far. And so here you can actually see inside of his account, this is inside of our software, you can see his cost per lead, the cost. So this is how much was spent on advertisements. And then cost per click, which doesn't really matter too much. CTR, this just means, anything kind of above 1 is good. Basically, well, it's not a universal thing to say the higher the percentage, the better, because there could be reasons that it being too high isn't, reaching the qualified audience. But this is a click-through rate, doesn't really matter for this. I really look at the number of leads. So you could see 32 leads here and the cost per lead. And if those things are within our projected KPIs, then I'm really looking at the quality of the conversations that are being had inside of our system. So if the cost per lead is good, the volume of leads is good, and the quality of conversations is good, and we're not getting a lot of listed properties or any sort of disqualifying criteria, then basically clients have the green light to keep their ads running, right? So here is the actual submission. So I'll break it down in the strategy, but this is just more proof. So you can see here, this is their reason for wanting to sell, and all these other pieces of information here. And then you can also see this is inside of our system, the conversation of the lead responding with photos of the property. There were other messages, but I wasn't going to go and screenshot all these other images and stuff. But essentially the lead, which I'll break down right here, the lead fills out a form. We automatically text them, and then they start engaging. If they don't engage, we just continue to follow up with them. And at this point, if a lead engages, we actually have an AI booking bot that will respond to these leads, qualify them, and get them to agree to a phone call. So at this point, the advertising is, pretty much fully automated, because you're just clicking proven templates, choosing your markets, putting your budget. All the funnels, everything that you need to convert off-market deals is inside of our system. And then now there's an AI bot talking to the actual leads, and I'll show you screenshots of a conversation that it has. So that's just a photo from this specific lead. And then Joseph actually had signed up earlier in the year on the software and had launched his own ads before. So I think to year to date, he has generated over 244 leads, just across all of his campaigns he has ran through our system. And so you can see proof of that right here. All the different, you can see on, January 10th, he got basically 8 leads. So this is the power of virtual and nationwide wholesaling with inbound ads. This is where the opportunity is. And you can see it right before your eyes. These are, $15, $20 leads, you could have a $25, $30 a day budget and get a lead a day and probably close one deal a month with this type of model. And like I said, it's crazy that you can click some buttons, launch an ad, a bot's talking to your leads. I mean, if there isn't a better time to be alive, I don't know when it is, but it's like the things that I'm seeing happening with clients where, we're getting leads every day. We're talking to people, the bot's talking to people, the bot's taking notes on the leads. I mean, I'm not even exaggerating with this stuff. I know a lot of people talk about AI and talk about, how it's doing this and doing that, but I'm a very practical person. So I like to see how things are applied in real life and how it could impact your business. And I am not exaggerating when I tell you that you can run your own ads with proven templates, and you can use a bot that will literally talk to your leads. Like, I'm literally seeing it before my eyes. It's working better than having any, one person try to follow up with leads and stuff like that. So if you are not using this technology, I just don't think you're fully capitalizing on the opportunity. I think that's as simple as I could say it. So you could see here, he's getting a ton of volume of leads throughout the year. The cost is very affordable with our system. You could pause the ads anytime you want to. You could crank up the budget. You could turn it down. And I just think that's the future, having control over your lead generation. So that's all the leads so far. And now let me break down the actual strategy, because it's a little bit different than, if you've seen some of my other case studies where I'm actually running ads for clients. Since, Joseph is running his own ads, it essentially is a different strategy because of a few reasons, but I'll just break down the strategy and then I can tell you why it's a little different. So the strategy here is a simple Facebook ad image. All right. So we're running an image ad, just one image, one ad, one, copy, one headline, just literally as simple as you can get. And if you maybe don't believe that these things work, I can show you this too. All right. So I just took a screenshot inside of our software where we can see, data from clients and template data. And this doesn't even have all of the data that I've, managed personally, because this software, I only started plugging this in fairly recently, like within the last year and a half. And two, when I do done for you clients, I sometimes make changes outside of the software, so it doesn't all track perfectly. So this probably should have like maybe $600,000 of ad data. But what is interesting here is when I'm talking to you about these ad templates, right? And I think this is kind of the big picture here is, if you are thinking that value comes from like somebody doing something for you, like, oh, I'm going to come up with custom ads or whatever, you may be underestimating the value of a proven process. And so what I'm here to show you is like, this is one of our templates here. You can see here, this template has $110,000 of ad data behind it. And like I said, this isn't even tracking all the ads I've launched through the software for multiple reasons, but $110,000 of data on this template, and then about $275,000 of ad data across all our templates. These columns basically are either impressions or reach. This is frequency. These things don't matter. The main thing I want to show you is this is literally this right here is 2,350 leads from this template, and this is the cost per lead. And you can see this across all the templates here. 6,000 leads, essentially $46 per lead. And so when someone like Joseph is signing up with our software, right, if they follow our blueprint, which includes, targeting ideally, 5, 10 or more states, and if you can do the nationwide model, even better, and then just having a simple $20 per day budget, I mean, you aren't just like, we're not guessing. I'm not just, oh, maybe this is a good idea and, I hope this works. I mean, you are literally using templates that have been bulletproof tested, because I had ran over $1 million of ads like by hand with done for you clients, helped them close tons of deals. And only then, when this software came out, did I plug in my own templates that I ran by hand into the templates to share with people like Joseph so he could run them on their own. So I didn't just make the templates up either, like, oh, this may work. They were all tested. And then now I can just see it validated through, this tool where it aggregates all the data. And so that's the power of, a simple image. Is there's the proof behind it right there, right? And you can obviously see he already got a deal under contract, so this stuff works, okay? So that's part of why we just use an image. The other part of why we use an image for this strategy is the cost is lower for, in testing it, because videos can take time to load. Like I said, I could tell you reasons to do both, why you should do video, why you should do image, but we can have a really great image ad. There's no load time, right? Facebook doesn't have to load the video. People don't have to play it. It's really simple, right? It's really just to capture the attention of our target market, which is distressed homeowners, get them to click on the ad and then go through the qualifying questions, okay? So that's why we do an image ad for this strategy. It's more affordable. You can have a lower daily budget, and it's just proven. It's as simple as that. Then instead of a survey, which you may have seen on my other videos or case studies, we use a lead form. And the reason for this is because this strategy is designed to get you the lowest cost per deal, both in terms of the ad strategy, the lead form strategy, and going nationwide model, or at least 5 to 10 states. It just depends on, you can get, really good results even with one entire state. But ideally it's 5 or more. Because that's where you really get volume, and you can use the AI to essentially qualify these leads, and it costs pennies. So we run this, and the reason we do the lead form here is, one, it converts better for the user. Like there's no load time on the survey. The website doesn't have to load. It's pretty much like bulletproof from Facebook, in the sense that like you click the lead form. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it basically just loads right there on Facebook. And so they click and then it instantly loads, right? So you just, this model right here is about speed and volume and letting the AI and the automation do the work, right? And the other reason for the lead form is because if I do done for you work for a client, right, I am setting up a pixel, I'm setting up a Facebook conversion API. If this stuff's going over your head, that's exactly why we use a lead form, because our client, we don't want our client setting up a pixel, setting up conversion API, building surveys and stuff like that. We want them signing up, picking their template and launching their ad, getting leads and talking to sellers. We don't want them becoming ad experts and technical experts and trying to do all these other things that you may see me do on these videos. So because I have done this for so long, I know what the customer and the user needs to see, so that they don't get confused, right? So the main reason here is it's faster for the homeowner to submit their information. We don't have to worry about websites being down. It's extremely reliable from that perspective. And then number two, we don't want our client and our customer building funnels, building landing pages, setting up pixels. At that point, they may as well just hire somebody to do it, right? So that's really why we're doing the lead form here. And then on top of it, you still get the best of both worlds, because after the lead submits their information here, you can still get the benefit of driving ads to a landing page, because a percentage of the people that actually fill out this lead form will also fill out the survey. And now that I'm talking about it, I can actually give you the percentages here from this actual account. So you can see that the percentage of conversion rate is actually, pretty good from people that fill this out and then also fill this out. So if you look here, we've had 244 leads total. So 244 Facebook lead form submissions. And so I'll go grab how many people filled this longer form survey out, and we can see the percentage of people that actually filled this out and the survey. All right, so I just took a screenshot live. So we had a 23% lead form to survey submission rate. So out of 244 Facebook lead form submissions, 58 actually filled out the longer form submission. And this is based on, the client setting this up too. So I've seen sometimes people don't link their thank you page to the to the actual funnel, and they link it to their site or other things like that. So this is just based on what's reported inside of the actual account. I have seen higher conversion rates from the actual lead form to the survey, but either way, it's 23%. So 1 out of every 5 that submits the lead form, you're still getting the benefit of the actual survey submission. And in reality, if you run a long form survey submission like that, your costs should line up pretty similarly to if you were to run the ad straight from the ad to the survey versus when you do an ad to the lead form to the survey. So my guess is this has not been linked fully, because I would probably project this to be closer to like 40% or higher. Not extremely high, like 80%, but maybe 40 to 50% of the leads could actually fill this out. And that would be indicative of like running ads straight to the survey on their own. So if you were to do nationwide with a long survey, you may start paying, long survey that is not on Facebook. You may pay, $60 per lead, give or take. And so since he's paying $20 per lead, I would probably expect this to be at like 33%, because that would be equivalent to like driving the traffic straight from the ad to the survey in terms of cost. But you can still see here, maybe that just was how it happened. I don't quite know, but that's based on what's reported in the actual account. So we run the ad to the lead form, and then, like I said, you still get the benefit of the survey without dealing with the pixel. And then there's the AI booking bot, which will text the lead and qualify the lead and make sure they're legit, or after they actually fill out the lead form and then the survey. After the survey, they go to the calendar here and they can book an appointment. Now, based on the actual account, there were 10 appointments booked, not total. For some reason, it's not reporting the entire campaign. So out of the 32 leads that were generated here, 10 of them booked their own appointment. So that means at least 10 of them also filled out the survey. So that's a 30%, right under 30% booking rate from the this campaign data that was launched recently. Like I said, I just can't see the number of appointments throughout the entire year. And so I don't know what that is exactly, but we'll usually see a 30 to 40% booking rate for clients that were running the ads straight from the ad to the survey and then to the calendar. So out of 10 survey leads, we'll get three automated bookings. So the other thing I'll show you too, if you think I'm maybe just making this up or whatever, I'll show you some stuff. So this is in another account here. One of my first clients using our software too. So these are all the appointments that we booked. So I'm not making up the appointment booking rate. All right, just in case you're new to the channel. So you can see I've booked thousands of motivated seller appointments with these types of funnels. So when I say 30 to 40% that fill out a survey will also book an appointment, that's where I'm coming from. All right. So that's the strategy. We're running a simple ad image to a lead form because there's no pixel and because it's easier for the homeowner to submit. And we just want a super reliable system for our customers to launch their ads and start getting leads. We don't want to worry if the landing page is working, if it's not loading, anything like that, right? We're relying on Facebook for that. And then after that, they are taken to a long form survey where we ask them more questions about the property. And our customer client can also change those as well. Since we already pay for this lead already, like we already got the lead in the door, you can, test the limits of the survey and start asking more qualifying questions because you'll already have their info, okay? Then we have a booking bot that will get them booked on the calendar if they fill out this survey and they don't actually book. And then we just have a simple thank you page. All right. So on the lead form, these are the questions we're asking if you're wondering. So by the time they enter into the system, this has already been collected. So essentially, Joseph is paying $20 to show the ad to motivated sellers, show the ad in front of them. They click on that actual ad. That goes back to the first metric up here. He pays $2, right, to get somebody to click. And then out of those clicks, the numbers line up perfectly. Out of every 10 clicks, which is where I'm doing some live math because I like showing you guys how this works. So $2 per click. Well, if his cost per lead is $20, that means that for every 10 clicks, he gets this info. And it's information from the seller that they're inputting. We're not stealing it from them or anything. They are answering these questions because they need help. So we're collecting their reason for selling, their time frame, what kind of property is it, make sure it's not listed, as well as the condition of the property, and then the address, name, email, and phone. And just another kind of little nugget here, the less of these questions you have, the lower the cost per lead will be in general. So if we took out all of these, then we probably could drop this to $14 or something, right? That's just an estimate. But you want to be careful you don't take all of these away because then you may just start getting submissions and not actual leads. And so out of these leads, I'm giving you some more solid metrics is what I would say that I have seen for every 100 leads here. And this is really like a Facebook long form lead submission. I know that's a mouthful, but a lead is if you think all of these people are leads, that's not necessarily true, right? So I call this a submission, is really what it is. So it's $20 per lead, but I'm really referring to a submission of people with this information, right? So here's some awesome math for you to have. Out of these 100 submissions, we'll call it leads though, 15 are qualified / worth talking to. So that's a mega metric that is behind millions of dollars of motivated seller ads. It's not just, oh, this sounds cool to say. That's the math. And so out of 100, if you just absolutely are, missing the mark on it and you're kind of getting familiar with it, you don't know how to talk to sellers, you should still be able to get one deal out of this. there are people where they can't fight their way out of a paper bag and they'll never get a deal, right? But assuming you know what you're doing and you're just kind of doing the basics, even if it's not perfect, you should be able to get one deal, right? If you know what you're doing, you should be able to get 2 deals. If you have multiple exit strategies and you're more of an expert, you should be able to get 3 to 5 deals. Anything above that probably isn't a deal that ends up converting into profit, in the sense of like maybe you're locking up 6 deals, but 2 of them don't actually convert. So when I say deals, I mean deals meaning money in the bank, like not just deals, contracts, right? So what does this break down to, just so you have this understanding, in the sense of like 100 leads, right? You may not have 100 leads. So the way I see it is 1 out of 8 are worth talking to, right? This can ebb and flow. It may be a little bit lower if you want to be a little bit more light on the qualification, right? Like you're just, you can get conversations with more than this for sure that are sellers but may just not be a fit. You should be able to have conversations with give or take 30 of them. That'll come in different formats. Like that could be, a few texts like back and forth. That could be, a longer ongoing text conversation. It could be a phone call. It could be an in-person thing if, they just so happen to be in your market. But that's really what I've seen, and you could slice it a million different ways. And I mean, I even just was working with somebody who, or am working with somebody who, runs Google ads for a different industry, and, you line up all the math, it's all the same thing. Okay. So, whether it's Facebook, Google, I mean, there's really no magic thing. You can get great results with both. If you get amazing results with one and not the other, it could just be, a unique, use case where something just works better in a different market. But if you go nationwide or you go into multiple states, I mean, you'll be able to plug in these ads and get deals. I mean, it's literally as simple as that. But I know everyone's, wanting to know what this is and trying to figure this out and thinking there's some way to like just not have it be this way. The only thing I've seen that totally creates like an uptake in this is going to be, like I said, multiple exit strategies. Because at the end of the day, right, if there's 30 out of 100 that are worth talking to and potentially are qualified too, I mean, you can buy houses, right, and barely make any money. You could make a slight profit, but you could increase this in theory, right? But assuming you're running a profitable business and you're getting these houses at a decent discount, you're not going to really, break through this metric. And this is a metric that, at least, through this methodology, right, that I'm showing you, but it works. And the other thing to think about too is that if you know this, like I wish I knew this 8 years ago when I started, because I used to think that like out of 100 leads, you're going to get like 20 customers or something. And so now I know through not just theory, like I've seen it over and over and over and over again, that I think the biggest kind of takeaway for you, if you aren't running ads or you're thinking about it, or maybe you're running it and trying to crack the code, is, know that like you have to be willing to trust that if something doesn't seem like a lead, like you need to let the automation try to re-engage them. Because I think what people do is they get 100 leads and they may not have automation. And so they think they're just not converting leads and they don't know what they're doing. But I think what I found to be the most simple is when the leads get generated, have a clear cut confirmation of the offer in the ad. And this could be for any niche, right? And so what I mean by this is like most people will get a lead and then they try to do some like weird message and like, they're trying to like beat around the bush. And I've seen people write messages where I'm like, what? Just, this makes no sense, right? And I've tested this myself. The sellers respect it way more and it just saves a bunch of time. So what I mean by this is like, it's basically as simple as like, hey, Mr. Homeowner, you filled out an ad requesting a cash offer for, put their address. These are the details you submitted. And then you could just map the like lead form questions here. So you could put like reason for selling and just map all their fields. Please respond, yes, if you would like us to reach out to you with your offer. Right? Because what's like one of the big things that happen? Oh, well, they filled out a form and they don't even know what they don't even remember, or they say it doesn't work, right? I've actually found, because that used to happen to me a lot when I first started with clients, but I don't even ever hear that anymore from clients, like, oh, they don't even remember submitting the form. So definitely adding in the qualifying questions will like totally lower that. There will always be the weird submission, but with 6 questions, I mean, people aren't going to just accidentally fill it. If they do say that, then they're just they're just messing around, right? So that'll just happen. But this is like the type of stuff that takes you from like trying to talk to 100 people, and then within like a few minutes of like getting the lead, you should get a pretty high response rate here. And you can have a few automations here where you're, like where you're actually like you say this one time, right? And then if they don't respond, then you can actually follow up again and just say, hey, did you see that message? I'm confirming. So you could schedule those out to be automated. But if they engage, like that's where you just want to like take them through the things that you need to make the actual offer and then go from there. And you'll save yourself so much time and headache and like stress thinking you're not converting or whatever you're thinking, because I've seen it. It's just, you're not going to convert every lead. Don't try to convert every lead, and don't think your numbers are going to be anything really crazier than, like I said, I think what everyone should aim for is 2 deals out of 100. And you should let the automation take this 100, down to like at least cut it in half for you, at least cut it in half. Because then your perception is you're closing 1 out of 25. The reality is you're getting 100, but the automation's, condensing it. And then, you're just like, cool, 1 out of 25. And then as you get the hang of it, you'll start to figure out, okay, what are the components that make up a lead that I can convert into a deal, right? And we have that internally with all the deals we've closed. I know I could look at a survey and be like, that's worth it. I could look at a survey, look at the way they're responding to the messages, and, tell you that it's a deal. And one of those components is sending photos. That's why this lead sent photos. Like, there was no hesitation. It was literally one message before this. He said, do you have photos? And then she sends like 10 photos. So that's one of those components here. But add this in. We have this already in our system. It's already ready to go. Like, it's not this exactly, it's a different version, but add this in. And this is automated, by the way. So if you're getting leads and then you check, 2 hours later and you're sending this stuff manually, you'll never be able to keep up with it, right? But if you have automation on this, this will cut through a lot of the noise, because people will respond yes. And then it's like, okay, you filled out the ad, you put in all this information, we confirmed you actually want us to talk to you. Okay, now let's talk, right? So don't be afraid to test the like being direct up front with automation, because if you never test it, you'll always think you're trying to get every lead. So those are some key metrics to look out for, and especially if you're going to try and do this on your own. And go with something like this. It just makes it easier. They just want the offer, right? They don't want to be chased down either. So do what you got to do to make the offer, and then learn more about what they need, and then move on. All right. So those were some lead metrics and stuff like that. And this is what I was telling you with the AI booking bot. And this is a real actual lead. You can see it collected all these details from the lead inside of just via chat, text message, and then it actually booked this appointment. Okay. So that's the bot. That's a part of our system as well. That's a huge value add to our customers, because it just saves so much time. The automated follow-up, qualifying up front, and the bot, I mean, this doesn't require a lot of time. It does require money, but I mean, if you want to scale your wholesaling business, I mean, I don't think there's any other way to do it. So that's the bot. Here's some of the tech setup, just so you can understand. Like I said, lead form campaign. This is a Facebook only placement. So this lead came from, I think it was mobile feed, but on the do-it-yourself option that we have with the software, we just put Facebook placements. That's usually where the deals come from anyway. So we just leave it as is. Okay. And then there's just one creative, one image, and this is a big component as to why the cost per lead is so good, and the daily budget required is so low, and why we can offer this to people as an actual do-it-yourself option, because you don't need to be an ads genius, because you're not targeting a super limited area or trying to set up pixels. Your audience is huge. You're using a native Facebook form, and you're using a proven ad template. All those components, and $20 a day is all you need to kind of get going with a lead or so a day. So that's it. And then, like I said, deal source from Facebook. So I have not yet followed up with Joseph to see if this deal ended up closing, but it falls within all the other metrics that I've seen. You can see 1 out of 32 converted into a contract. And so let's just say he gets 15 more leads and there's no deal, then he's going to fall right in at the 2%, 1 out of 50, give or take. So the numbers are pretty simple there. I really wanted to show you guys the cost per lead, this nationwide model, and really show you some of those metrics I've seen. And so one of the last things that I'll say regarding, this type of a system is, if you think about like the skill set of running ads, right? Most people attempt to like start a business and then try to advertise the business, right? And the biggest reason that I've really shifted to working with nationwide and virtual wholesalers is when I really look at the potential of advertising and, funnels and booking bots, all the stuff I mentioned here, the potential is with an audience, right, that is extremely large. This is why this thing takes off. You launch one of these ads across even if you're a total newbie, you've never ran an ad before. If you follow this training I have in the software and you put literally $20, you'll once the ad gets approved, you could literally get an ad in 30 minutes or a lead in 30 minutes. Now, I don't want to say that'll happen to everyone, but you'll probably get a lead within the first day, right? And why is that possible? How come when you're like, let's say you wanted to target a specific city, how come with this specific city you need like $100 a day or $150 a day? Well, it's because of that concept where, people have created businesses, right? And you could succeed locally. I'm not here to tell you otherwise, right? But people have created businesses optimized around like the business first, and then you advertise second, right? If you take off all your attachments and anything, the highest yield, right, of advertising is targeting in terms of what you can get cost per lead with, is targeting as many people as you possibly can. Now, I'm not saying to not be specific, right? Because we are finding people that have a property that is causing a problem for a variety of reasons: divorce, inherited, probate, whatever, right? So we're very specific who it's for. We're not like just targeting anyone like, anyone is our customer, right? It's people that own a home. It's people that have one of those specific problems. It's people that need to sell. And then it's people that need to sell at a discount. They're willing to exchange, some of the value of their property for convenience, right? For a variety of reasons. So if you look at advertising in the internet, the potential is more in having as many people as possible in your market. Obviously, you got to know how to disposition, and there's logistics to actually making this whole stuff work. But I have, partners that can help you disposition these deals, and you can, tap into this opportunity too. So when I really started to see this and I saw, wait, how come when I plug in an ad, we go nationwide? That thing just leads start flying in. They're from all over the country. They're quality leads. They're interested people. They're people that need to sell. And this thing just works, right? Why is it? Well, because this is where advertising is optimized, right? And you can wholesale anywhere, right? Almost anywhere. I know there's limitations, right? Point is, there's obviously nuance. And if we talked one-on-one, I could speak to what I'm saying more specific to you. But the point is, if you've come from an advertising world, you know that running, ads in the United States or in other countries is where you can really start to get volume and get this thing going. And it requires a lower budget, right? And so we're seeing people get results because they're adopting this model. And even if you're new to this concept, you can just add in a few areas and you'll see your results just totally change, right? But you got to have an open mind, and that's what I realized. It's like, wait, why am I not looking at the obvious, which is, this is my favorite type of case study: $20 a day, $30 a day, getting deals under contract in areas you've never even been to. Like that's what is attainable. That's what's realistic, right? Not everyone can say, all right, I'm going to spend $5,000 on ads every month, minimum 90 days to maybe see a result. Versus with this, hey, you have $20 a day, test it out. Test it out for 10 days, put $200 and just watch the lead come in, right? So this is great for a variety of reasons. It's great to test your advertising skills. If you have some money, you just want to see, whoa, can I get leads, in this niche? So that is just kind of my message to all of you, because I've been talking to a lot of you guys, that are seeing my videos and, trying to figure out how to grow your business. And I just keep seeing the same trend where I'm like, look, if you don't go virtual, if you don't expand into this opportunity, you can succeed. I'm not here to say you can't. I'm just saying it's not optimal for where advertising and the opportunity is. And here is kind of some more proof. You could see it down here, but let me just talk about areas of improvement for this client. Budget. Let's double that budget. Let's get $40 per day going so we can double the leads and start closing 2 deals a month. Average assignment fee, $10K, $15K. There's no reason not to increase that budget, right? Also, they could increase their survey length with more qualifying questions. Since their cost per lead on the front end is so good, might as well try, like adding in more questions and stuff like that. And then also leveraging the bot more. So I noticed that, this particular client isn't really utilizing the bot. And so the automation is already plugged in, but you want to flick the toggle on in our software for the bot so that it can help you. But other than that, this is solid. And this is my next case study, from this model that I'm referring to. So you can see here, we just started a campaign and we're getting $11 leads. $11 leads with the same ad that I'm talking about here, and with all those questions that I told you about up here. We're getting those, and out of those, we got, we made an offer and we got an ovation agreement signed, and then we have an offer being made on another one of these leads. And why is this so crazy? Well, look for yourself. I mean, I've ran ads for 8 years, and I've attempted to make local real estate investing work, and it does work, right? It's just, you would be seeing with $44, you may see like 2 clicks. I've seen it, $20 a click. And here we're getting leads in areas where, I mean, these are in areas where you guys have all heard of the areas that these leads are coming in. It's just, you may not be thinking about it, right? So 4 leads, $11 a lead, right? And even if none of these deals go through, right? This is an awesome investor. He really knows what he's doing. So he wouldn't really be making these offers if there wasn't some opportunity there. And he also knows how to do creative innovation, which is what I look for as well, because that kind of goes hand in hand with this, nationwide virtual model. But $4 4 leads, $11 per lead, $44 spent. We launched this thing. I mean, within 15 hours, this thing was, the first 2 leads had come in. So this will be another thing that will be coming soon, and I'll share more about that with you. But my call to action, if you want some results like this, like I said, I highly recommend you use the nationwide or virtual model. There will be a link below for you can do it yourself, or if you want us to do it for you, there will be a link to that. So that's that. Hope you enjoyed the case study, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.